with today's live session wherein we'll be having a conversation and understanding that if you are looking to be a yoga trainer and if you want to break the national boundaries and you want to expand the knowledge of yoga all throughout the world, then this session is definitely for you. So I'm going to be adding a dear friend of mine and a yoga trainer, model, entrepreneur, and so much of creativity is a part of his daily life. So let's understand from him what it is to be a yoga trainer in France. So let's just wait for him and guys, please feel free to ask your questions.
Hello,
Matthew.
how are you?
Hi, how are you? I'm great. How are you doing?
All good. Very good.
All good? Perfect. Firstly, welcome and thank you so much for doing this live session because I'm sure this will be very useful to a lot of people who are wanting to be in this field and also a lot of young practitioners, who are not sure whether they should take up yoga or the ones who are already there on the path of yoga.
Of course.
So welcome and thank you.
Thank you for the invitation. I'm really happy to be here today. And it's a pleasure always to speak to everybody I can. So I'm really happy.
Perfect. So everybody who's watching us, please feel free to ask your questions or share your experiences of your yoga classes, of your yoga studios, and we would love to hear them. So before we get started, let me know, how did you land up in yoga? So how did the journey begin? And do you remember your first yoga class?
Yes, I do actually. Yes. That's a long time ago now. Not so long. It's just like 3 years ago that I did my first yoga class.
Okay.
But I think it was at the perfect moment of my life that I got this first class, because it was not a moment that I would judge something that I don't know. It was a moment that I was pretty open to new things. So I didn't look at it really much. I went without knowing what it was. And I discovered something really deep. And first of all, it helped me for my condition, my physical condition, because I had a lot of backache and problems.
Okay.
Like that. So first I wanted to stop doing a lot of sport in general. And then I found yoga was a really good alternative because I thought it was like a cool physical practice, plus a spiritual practice that I didn't know nothing about. So I was really interested in this, and my first yoga class was like not a revelation, but a first step to on this new way, I would say.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And did it help you with the backache? Like, did it help you get rid of the backache?
Yeah, and what's funny is that I work out a lot before in the gym and all those places. I was doing CrossFit and those things. So your muscles become really tense. They are not flexible at all. So when you put so much pressure on it, at the end they break, or you have so many problems that you cannot even stand up. It's really complicated. So the thing with yoga is that it's doing the opposite. It's making your muscles strong but flexible in the same time. So it changed my life. Like when I started, I was seriously every day almost I was feeling pain in my back, in my leg, but now I'm like painless.
Wow, painless.
Yeah.
So this is a problem. Like, this is a question which a lot of people ask, because there's always this duality, whether should we go to the gym or should we try yoga. So it's always looked at as two opposite things, and people need to understand that they can have both of it. So both can be done at the same time. So that's a good thing you mentioned.
Can be done. It's I think it's whatever you do, as long as you do it with a certain stability, with a certain harmony, then you can add anything in it that will not change how to say the practice you have with something, but it will help you in your life.
Oh, perfect. True. Very true. And then I think you came to India. Like, I know you came to India, and how was that experience of your teacher's training?
Or at what point did you realize that you want to teach yoga? Because it's different to be a practitioner and then to actually start teaching. They're two very different things. So how did that, decision come to your mind?
It is totally two different things. And this revelation that I told you before in my mind happened when I went to India, because I decided to go there to calm my mind first, to learn what is the real yoga, because I just knew the yoga from the Occident. And at the end, after 1 week I was there in India, I was kind of not focusing so much on the asana, but I was more focusing on the philosophy and what is yoga really. So it was difficult at the beginning, because I went to India to learn how to teach how to do asana, but I came back changing my lifestyle, changing my way of thinking, and trying to change to show this what is really yoga in Europe now, in France.
True. And how difficult?
My goal today, because I found in India that not everybody can afford to come in India, especially now with this coronavirus and all those things.
Yes, true.
So I want to show to people what I went to do, what I went to discover, because stop living for 1 month and
So just give me a moment and I'm sure that we'll figure this out. Everybody who's joined us, please give us a moment and we'll be continuing with our conversation very shortly.
hello again.
Yes,
I don't know what
issue with the network. Yeah. So everybody who's stayed with us, sorry for that little inconvenience out there. And we were talking about you coming to India.
Yes.
So yes.
Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes. So I was saying that you were talking about you coming to India. So you'll have to explain that again because I lost you there.
Okay, sure. No, so the first I went there yoga to teach how to do the posture yoga class. And now that I went there, after just 1 week I was there, it changed everything in my life. Like all my vision of what was yoga changed, and it became something more clear and with more how to say, deeper. It was something deeper than just doing a yoga class, like doing a fitness class or something like that.
Yes.
It was something really not only physical but also mental and superior of that, like on other dimension, you know. And I feel like showing this vision of yoga, what is yoga in India, in Europe, is my goal, my first goal now, because I really think that if everybody knew this, everybody would be even more calm, more happy, more focused on what they want in life, not doing what people want them to do. So I think yoga have a real power to cure the mental sickness in which we are living in the Occident, kind of.
True. And how difficult was it to learn the Sanskrit words and the Sanskrit asana, the name of the asana?
The saying verbally, I can say some, but mostly I don't remember because I didn't spend enough time to learn how to pronounce the name, but more time on what is it about, you know?
Yes, true. I understand. Like it gets difficult for that.
Yeah, I
And
better focus on what is the message through the thing you learn than learning just the what is the
perfect. True, because I think the philosophy is something which gets, as you rightly mentioned, the philosophy gets hidden somewhere, and the only thing that we see world over is the asanas. So it's time to change that, and it's time to bring the philosophy ahead.
yes.
And what what has yoga in terms of its philosophy and asanas, how has it impacted you, or how do you feel that you have, like, obviously it's been 3 years for you that you are practicing yoga, and what kind of an impact has it had in your life?
In first, the impact was physical because it changed my mobility was easier. I had no pain, so it changed my life for this first. Then also it changed my life because I was used to, you know, as I said, go to the gym and do a lot of workout, eat, count what I eat, do all those things, you know, that you see on TV and stuff and on social media. But with yoga, I discovered that you can take care of your body, like keep it in good health physically, with still, like, how to say, you can still run, you can still do all those things, and the only way to keep doing those things until you are really old, it's yoga or it's tai chi or it's all those movements that are good for the body and in the same time that strengthen the body. So that's what changed my lifestyle, if you want, because I started to accept that I am what I am, and the only way to keep being what I am or to stay is just to be here all the time, you know. So I don't spend time doing the same thing. Like my lifestyle changed completely thanks to this practice and this philosophy.
It's wonderful that you've actually applied it in your life, because I think that's when you get the maximum benefit. So if you're only practicing the asanas, you will definitely see the benefits. But if you embrace it as, you know, the whole aspect of yoga with the philosophy and the discipline, then I think it gives you beautiful and brilliant results.
Yes.
And now that we're talking about your practice, what is your favorite style or your preference? How do you like to practice? Is it more of vinyasa or more of like holding the posture? How is it?
I am a Pitta Kapha, so I am mostly really active, you know. So when I practice yoga, I like to keep it like slow, but with still some challenge, you know, like posture that challenged me, but slowly, not changing all the time, like movement. I like to keep it with like 5 to 10 breaths between each asana.
Great.
And to work on my strength, my flexibility, but on the long term, you know. And sometimes I like also to do more of Ashtanga style. I like to switch between Hatha and Ashtanga, actually. It's my two favorite. And sometimes I do a kind of restorative yoga, you know, which is...
Yes, because you need a little rest.
Exactly. Always.
That's also important, and it feels good to, you know, relax once in a while, not do that very intense practice. And okay, we have Priyanpada Mangal saying something. Okay, she is also Pitta and Vata. Okay, great.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she also likes
Yes.
practicing with
Good.
absolute
Yeah.
awareness and breath work. And now that you've mentioned this, it's very important because sometimes what we think is, as practitioners, that every day when we come on the mat, it has to be intense. It has to be a certain way. So we end up taking that pressure, and not always will we end up doing the same kind of practice. So
Yes.
as long as we are there, as long as we are doing something on the mat, I think that is what counts the most.
Yes.
And it's great you mentioned that, because otherwise a lot of times we just take the pressure, of we have to do this has to be done, that has to be done, and that's not fun.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what you exposed the thing pretty well, and this is something that we definitely need to do consciously. So you don't want to put how to say, like a challenge between other people, like yeah, I'm gonna do better than him or something like this,
Exactly.
or I'm gonna do better than myself. Like this time, I'm gonna go deeper in the stretch than last time. No, you're not there for competition here. The effect that gets on your body, like the strength, the flexibility, it's a result. It's consequences of doing the yoga for your spirit, for your soul. You do it to feed the deep things inside of you, to breathe, relax, keep it slow, take it easy, and with this you get the consequences of the body. But if you do it only for the body, then you lose, I don't know, like 90% of the benefit of the yoga.
Yes, very rightly said. And now that you've mentioned that your dream is to actually carry that philosophy in Europe, and tell me, how is it, like, culturally, how difficult was it to teach people that way back in your hometown? And how did you set up your own brand and your own, initiative of
Yes.
spreading the knowledge of yoga?
So first of all, when I finished to get my degree in yoga teaching, I was not sure I wanted to teach anymore, because I was separate between the things that I discover, which is wonderful, that I can give to other people, like share it, and on the other side, I was seeing the European and the American society. What they want is just to show off. That's what I thought. That's why I thought in the past. So I was like, how am I going to teach something that is amazing and beautiful, but you need to forget all the physical aspect of it? And I was kind of lost after that, because I didn't know how to explain something in the perfect way to touch the people that was not interested by it. And then I finally found in myself the key with this coronavirus and all those things that happen. It makes, I think, you can get a chance if you see the things like that this moment they can reveal you who you are and what you really want to do in life. And since this moment, I understood that what I want is just to share the things that I think are beautiful in this world, and that can change the world actually in the good way. And even if it's my opinion, of course, because somebody else might be like, no, it's not going to change the world, but I still want to share it because I love it. And if you love something, just share it. So I finally find the way to create something that is really representative of what I want to show and of myself, who I am. And it's taking the time that it's going to take to improve and to show the world and to show people things. But it's growing and it's getting even more interesting each day by each day. And it's really fulfilling to do something you love.
Yes, that's so right, and I totally agree with you and your opinion, because as yoga teachers, we realize that we have been through it. Okay, we've been through that process wherein we've seen the change, we've seen how it has impacted us, and I think it's a beautiful feeling to want to share that with other people.
Exactly.
So I think that was something which was very important to me as well, because when I got my TTC done, I had no intention of teaching. and there was a complete change in my personality, and of course how I was perceiving things. And I wanted to share that with people, because you realize that this is so useful. It's plainly useful for everybody, and it's
Yeah.
universal. So it can go beyond, countries, it can go beyond religions, it can go beyond everything. And we had something which Priyamvada said, so I'll just read it out for everybody. She agrees about the depth of yoga and doing it for the Annamaya Kosha, okay, and not only for the Annamaya Kosha. She's talking about Anandamaya Kosha, okay. So doing it for the Anandamaya Kosha and not only for Annamaya Kosha. Would you like to elaborate more on that? She's talking about the inner bliss and the physical body. So that's what you have already spoken about.
Yes, exactly. We can develop even more if you want, but I think the most important is said already about that, is that
yes,
we can spend hours talking about this kind of thing, of course.
I agree.
But we all have a different perception, if you want to make it like that. And the more you can open your perception, the more you can be able to understand other people's perception. So from this moment, you can match with everybody. So nothing never makes you mad, nothing never annoys you or something like that, because you understand that from this perspective of this person, he can see life like this, right, because this is his vision. But you, because you can see life more, you can understand that and you can share it with this person, which is nice.
Perfect. And tell me, what was the biggest challenge? Now that you're teaching people, and I'm sure you are teaching the philosophy as well. So how do you feel people are accepting it, or are they accepting it, or are they not willing to take that?
That's the huge question, actually, because it's a really interesting question. Because for me, the most difficult thing was to find the way to share something that is complex in an easy way.
Yes.
Because it is easy. It is easy from the moment that you see things differently. I don't know what to say, but you just need one moment, the good way to say the good sentence, the good word at the good moment, and the person can open his chakra, he can open his soul, he can open his aura, but you just need to find how to speak to every different person, because we are all different. And that's what I like to do when I start my classes. It's easier when I see the people, because they are in front of me, so I get more energy from them. I can see if they are receptive or no, and then from there I can move on. But on the phone it's more complicated, but it's doable, And I try to keep it enough easy to understand and to agree with. I don't go too far in the philosophy, because I don't want to lose someone that could be interested by it,
Yes, right. It has to be fed little by little. You can't just, unleash it. It has to be given little by little in parts.
Exactly.
And not everybody is ready for it at the same time.
Exactly.
So it's very important to wait for that time and, slowly and gradually help your students.
And some people will be ready in another life later, because this is their way. For now, they have things to learn by themselves. And one day they will need to connect to more people to understand more things. So the respect of each person is really important for me. If someone is close to something, I let. It's okay. You don't want to learn about that. That's okay. I'm all right. But if you want to teach me something, I'm okay. I would like to learn something.
Yes,
that's
so important.
That's the full process I'm going in now.
Yes, because it's so important that even as teachers, our students always teach us something. So this is one thing I have believed in, that we are still practitioners and we are still on our own journey of learning more and more.
Yes.
So I don't think that our teachers certificate was the end of it. I think it was just the beginning of learning more. Exactly. And which brings me to my next question, that what advice would you give people who are wanting to take up yoga profession, and who are already in the profession and who want to expand, who want to go beyond countries, and who want to ensure that more and more people understand what yoga really is?
I would tell those people, first of all, go in India, find a good school, not a, how to say, not a commercial school that just want to make money. Find a really good school with really good teacher that will teach you what is yoga for real, and just believe in yourself. If you feel like it's too complicated to start something new, just do it. And if you love it, even if it's complicated, it will be a good experience. So your failure, your difficulties must not stop you. This is just the new step to build your next house or your next whatever you want. But don't stop by fear, and don't stop by thinking you will not be enough, because if you do it with love, it will always be enough. Always. That's it.
And do not look around when you are in your yoga class.
Exactly.
Just focus on yourself, because we've all done that at some point of time.
You can look around if you look without putting yourself into the situation, you know.
True.
Like I can look and be like, oh wow, this movement is beautiful. The way she or he does this asana is really
That's appreciating. That's fine. Yeah, that's
if it's
appreciation.
inspiring, that's amazing, you know. But if it's to be like, oh, he do better than me, no.
Yeah, no competition at all.
Yeah, because we are all different. So you might be able to do something, I might not be able to do something. So that's okay. And
Yeah.
also there is one thing that is really important. Never look around thinking that others do things better than you. They don't do better, they do different. If someone is taller than you, you are not going to look at him or her and be like, hey, he do better. No, he's just like this. He's taller or he's smaller or whatever. Life is like this. People are different. Do your thing. Do what you like. And you can get inspiration from outside, but don't get it negative, like it's gonna kill your mood.
Definitely. And also it will stop you from doing your best. So once you are under that pressure, once you are in that competition frame of mind, it will stop you from doing your best, which is not fun, which is not cool. We don't want that.
It will bring something negative into something positive. So it's
exactly.
It's not useful. It's not interesting.
Perfect. And let's talk about a myth now. Now that we've spoken about the facts,
yes,
I'm sure it's the same in France. Yoga gets the name that it is more suited for women, and a lot of men are actually hesitant whether they should be going for strength training or how would yoga be for us. So did that ever come across your mind? Tell me honestly.
Yes, it's really interesting because actually it's nowadays what we live in Europe. It's this problem is that we have more guys now more men that do yoga than before.
Yes, so the trend is changing. Yes, yeah, definitely. Even in India, we have more and more people coming up, but still somewhere there's this imbalance.
Yes, and that's what I don't understand, because when I was in India, all my teachers, they were men almost.
Yes.
And in Europe, yoga is supposed to be for women, just because it's more slow, or I don't know, because something is not men enough. Guys don't like.
Did you ever believe that, even for a second?
Sorry?
Did you believe that before joining yoga? Did you have those, double thoughts about whether you should start yoga?
No, I didn't believe like that, but I thought that it would not be enough to keep a good body, Okay. But in fact, it's better because you keep a good body for a long time, so it's good.
Okay.
But
yes. So go ahead. What will you tell to such people?
No, I just wanted to tell them it's okay if you feel like it's a feminine sport or a feminine something like that, because you see it only the way the society want to show. It's always a girl on the post on the social media. It's always a girl.
That's marketing. That's more of marketing.
Exactly, it's marketing because it talks more to women. So women want to do yoga, and so they spend money for yoga, and it works like this marketing. But when you go in India, it's guys, it's men that are your teacher. It's men that do yoga, and the way they bring it, it's not look what I can help you to do, I can teach you how to stand on your hands or something like this. It's more like hey, you see this, like, what do you think about it? And then you talk and you talk and you talk. And that's what I love in yoga in India, you know, is that whatever, you're a man, you're a woman, or it's just something that is good for everybody. If you know how to take it, it's just good for everybody. So don't think it's too feminine. Like, if you think it's too easy and too feminine, come with me for
Try
1
it
hour.
out. Yes.
Get crazy if you want.
Yeah, so you're inviting us for a session, like, sure. Perfect. And any last advice for people who have begun their journey, okay, for young practitioners who've just started, and how would you tell them to continue? Because there are a lot of times when you don't feel like practicing, when you have your work, when you have other responsibilities, and
Yes.
especially with the coronavirus, people are working from home, there are no fixed
Yes.
working hours, so it gets difficult to take out that time for yourself. So in that case, how would you like guide them?
Okay, so I think I understand your question, and it's actually perfect with what we are living now with this
Yes.
coronavirus. What yoga is, that's really important that people understand this, because otherwise you think you are just doing your 1 hour of yoga to do your sport, to stretch, to breathe, to feel good. Yoga, it's not 1 hour in a day. It's all day, every day. It's all the time. It's always here, because it's something that helps you to be in the present moment. So you can't ever be thinking about
It again seems to be lagging a little. Could you just repeat again because I couldn't hear you?
it. Saying that yoga is not something that you do 1 hour per day. It's something that you do every day, all day. Because yoga, it's a lifestyle. It's a way of thinking. It's a philosophy that you relax all day. You can meditate all day, doing cooking, doing your thing. If your mind is in the good frequency, the good vibes, if you connect to the good energy, you can be all the time doing yoga. Not so for us, it's easier to do the asana, to be connected, because you have no music, nothing to think about, just being here, doing your posture, focus on this. And that's why we use the asana. It's to get to this connection that we can have all the time, but we need to learn how to have this connection. So for those people that think like it's difficult at night or in the morning or to wake up and practice my yoga, more think like, the more I will be focused on doing those things, the more I will be able to be yoga all day, all night, at every time of the day, you know.
True.
It's by doing those little 1 hour of connection, your brain, connection, your body, your soul, to this energy of just being here. You can do it with the pranayama, you can do it with the meditation, with the asana. It's something that focuses you on what you're doing now and on living the moment. And when you get to this point, I'm not going to say this, but you almost don't need to do asana, you don't need to breathe, because you are all day connected to this energy.
Yes.
And that's what is really interesting, is to understand that every time you do one session of yoga, you are not doing your abs or you are not doing your shoulder or something that if you don't do for 2 weeks, you lose your muscle, you know. You are doing this connection, you are making this connection that will never fade from the moment that you started to create it.
Yes, perfectly answered, because I don't think there's a single yoga pose which involves only one set of muscles. So it's never, because I have my friends asking me like, do you have these bifurcations like legs, arms? And it's very difficult in yoga to do that because you're engaging the entire body all the time. And practically every yoga asana is focusing on your spine because that becomes the main center of your energy. So it's always you're working with your spine, and as you mentioned, it's not like we're working on the back or working on the arms. It's holistic, and it's gonna touch every aspect of your life.
Exactly.
And which brings me to my last question: that apart from yoga, also you do a lot of other things. So, what impact has yoga had on your professional life in terms of your personality, like your concentration? I'm sure that has, of course, improved. And how do you feel like the difference between you before yoga in other things which you did in life, and now how do you approach the other things in your life, professionally especially?
I would say if I could name a difference, I would say just the peace of mind, you know, that I didn't have before in different situations, that I could lose my temper or maybe be a bit stressed or even sometime cannot stop thinking about something, you know, when you are obsessed by work or
Yes.
something like that. And yoga teaches me this, like that I don't need to be 100% all the time on one subject to be productive. I can make what I have to do now, but if I start to do something else, I don't think about what I was doing before. Otherwise, I will not do anything good. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So I
yes.
learn how to focus on one thing at the moment and be present with this thing at this moment. And then when I'm done with this, I switch on something else, which helped me to start a lot of different projects. And every time I have an opening on one project, I am focused 100% on this project. And when I have time, I take those other projects, but I separate everything.
I think that's the most important thing, because that's one thing which most people are lacking today. And it's just plainly awareness, right? Just being aware of what you're doing. And it takes practice, it takes time, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah,
So,
it
yeah.
takes time, and it's not something that it's not like you find it, you get it forever. You know, it's something that you need to stay connected to. So if you are, for 1 second, you lose your temper on something, you stop, you cut the connection, so you're not aware anymore, because it's not you that is really replying to the stress you're getting. You are not responding, you're reacting. That's the total difference. Because when something happens to you, you have two choices: or you react, which is more like an instinct. If someone attacks me or someone is rude to me, I'm going to be rude to him just because I react. But if I am responsible, I am able to understand that this person is talking to me like in a bad way. It's not, she's doing it to herself, you know, because if I don't react, if I am responsible, I'm responsible enough to stop this, you know. And this is what yoga can give you, this vision, more aware, more I don't know how to say, but a bigger vision of the same thing. And you can't just be like, oh, this person is stupid. You can just be like, no, she's not stupid, she's what she is, and I am what I am, and
Yes.
I cannot be mad
That's
for something
acceptance.
like
That's just acceptance of the fact that people are different.
exactly.
So that's wonderfully summed up. And everybody who's watching us, if you all have any questions, please ask us. And if there's anything more you would like to add, feel free to add it right now. You
If
can,
there's anything I will add, I think we cover a lot of points already, but if people didn't understand already what I wanted to share with you today, and I think that's what we connect together with, because when you speak, I feel like I am speaking, you know, because it's really exactly what I understood from
yes,
yoga, you know.
true. Yes, yes.
So that's really interesting. And the only thing I could add is that if you really think yoga is only for your body, do it. That's good, because you're gonna have better body. I don't know. You're gonna feel better, and you get a chance to find one day a teacher that will be able to open your mind on something maybe one day. So just do it. Don't feel scared.
And perfect. So Priyamvada is saying that I loved the session. It was quite relatable, especially the one with reaction. Yes, reaction and response is something which yoga talks about very strongly. So I remember even during our TTC, they used to teach us this, that don't respond, like don't react, always respond. And yes, so thank you, Priyamvada.
Exactly.
And as you said
Thank you.
that we all get exposed to the asanas first, because even I started my yoga journey with doing asanas first, and then the philosophy comes. So even if people are willing and open to do the physical aspect of it first, I'm sure that they'll be interested in exploring more, because
Exactly.
humans are curious, and of course you'll want to know more, understand more. So even if, don't let that stop you, and just get into it, even for physical like benefits, and I'm sure that you will automatically experience, and you'll be wondering what is this, and I want to know more about this. And because that happened with me as well.
I completely agree with you. It's I couldn't say it better. It's exactly, that's the thing.
Yes, all of us, because we've always seen the asanas, we've always seen the postures, we've always seen the headstands and the handstands.
And it's physical. It's what we see. So we based our philosophy on what we see. So if this guy is doing this and he can be healthy forever, I'm gonna do like he does. And then if the guy can be connected to something else or find himself, oh wow, I'm gonna, you know.
Yes,
And
it's
it
always
goes
that way, yeah.
It's always like this.
Yeah, it's just human tendency. And thank you so much for sharing all of this with us. And I'm sure that people loved listening to you. And even if people are having more questions, feel free to message us, and we would love to answer you all or help you all regarding yoga and what styles to do and, you know, all of that. So any conversation about yoga, and I'm sure that even you are always open to that.
Yes, and also I wanted to add one last thing, because I'm really focused for now on teaching yoga in France. So most of my action right now with yoga are based on French, with French people, because I am in France. But I really want to use English to share more yoga and more things, more philosophy, more even asana and all those things. So I will be soon working on more projects with English people, people speaking in English,
Okay.
and more video in English, more meditation in English and all those things. So
Wonderful.
maybe it can interest people, and I'm really happy to share it. And you can see on my Instagram the La Minute Yoga, the French yoga that I made. Next week, I will do 1 or 2 classes in English. So I will make a planning, and it will be free. And it will be French timing. I will mention it. But I'm really happy to share this. And I think it's really important to share it in English so I can share it with more people, you know.
True, very true. And good luck for all of your goals. And I'm sure that the dream that we have to make yoga more accessible all over the world, I'm sure that you will do great. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much for
Thank you,
today.
everyone.
I'm really happy that you invited me. It was like the pleasure of the day. Really nice.
Thank you.
And I hope we can maybe talk another day, another time later about your project, my project. And I'm really happy that we had this talk today.
Yes, Priyamvada will join. Thank you, Priyamvada.
Thank you.
And everybody who's been listening to us, thank you so much.